With less than a month until the election on Prop 50, early ballots have already gone out. So people are already voting on this. And I wanted to make sure I got this video out to kind of fact check a lot of these ads that are coming out because honestly, I look at these ads and I just can't keep it to myself. I look at these yes on Prop 50 ads and they are so out there and so inflammatory and so untrue that I had to do this video to fact check and discuss all of them. Now, I want to give a little bit of background about Prop 50. If you don't know what Prop 50 is or why are we even in this position, I want to give a little background so at least we know what we're doing here or like going into these videos. You have an idea of like you can pick apart what's wrong here, and that way you can kind of inform others about what is wrong with Prop 50 and why you should vote no on Prop 50 because it is one of the biggest abuses of power and power grabs I've ever seen in my life in politics. So Prop 50 is a proposition that's going to be put on the ballot that allows for the legislature to redraw the California congressional maps in the way that they want. And the reason they're doing this is because they vaguely kind of tried to attach the fact that Trump made some comment about Texas, what's going on with Texas with redistricting. They hopped on that, ran with this idea that Trump is gerrymandering Texas to get more Republicans out of Texas, which is not the case. So this is actually a long story of what's going on here. This started way back in 2021. This is Justice Department sues Texas over new redistricting maps. And basically what they were saying is that their redistricting maps that they had put forward in 2021 discriminate against a lot of minority voters. So there was this litigation back and forth between the Biden DOJ and Texas, and a ruling came out that said that, look, you have to redistrict and you have to do it fairly. In favor of what we're expecting. You can't do what you're doing; it violates the Voting Rights Act. So that's why you have to redistrict. So it took a long time to get where we are today. That's where it started. It started with the Biden DOJ, who sued Texas for their maps way back in 2021. But keep in mind, 2020 was the last census. That's when they have to redraw their maps and all that. So that's where it started. Now, Trump made some comment about we should try and get as many Republicans as we can, yada, yada, yada. You know, Trump, how he is. He says something off the cuff. People run with it. Then all of a sudden, you get people like Gavin Newsom who jumped on this and said, "Oh, they're gerrymandering Texas so they could get more Republicans." That's what they're doing. They're doing this on purpose so that Trump gets more Republicans and he can rig the 2026 midterm elections, which are next year. That's not the whole story. That is a small part of some fabricated story where they think that Trump is gerrymandering the parts of Texas and the congressional districts in Texas to get more Republicans, which is not the truth because Texas is just complying with the courts who said you have to redraw your maps from 2021. This is from, all of this litigation going back and forth between the Biden DOJ. So that's sort of the background, right? That's always the fact that they leave out. They leave out the fact that this was the Biden DOJ who started this and that Texas was just complying with this court order to redraw their maps. And then, of course, Trump made a comment and they jump all over it and think that they're going to gerrymander the hell out of Texas and get more Republicans. So now you have Gavin Newsom and California Democrats who proposed Prop 50 so that they can then take away the right to redistrict or the power to redistrict from our independent commission. We have an independent commission. The legislature does not draw our congressional maps here in California. It's drawn by an independent commission, which was instituted in 2008 with Arnold Schwarzenegger in a different proposition. So the people already voted on this. They want an independent commission. That is where we are at now. So just to give you the idea, just to give you where we're at. Now let's get into some of these videos.
Who's behind the campaign against Prop 50? Mega millionaire Charles Munger Jr. What's Munger's game? Munger gave lavishly to anti-abortion and anti-LGBT extremists. Now he's spending millions to help Trump rig the election.
Abortion. That's what they're going to go with. They're going to say it's about abortion. This is about abortion. You have to vote yes on Prop 50 because it's about abortion. Nothing about this has anything to do with abortion. California has a constitutional amendment to get an abortion. That's there. So they dropped the buzzword. They dropped the buzzword that it's all about abortion. It's all about abortion. It's about abortion and Trump. Put those two things together, you're going to get a ton of Democrats to show up. Now, Charles Munger Jr. is the son of Charles Munger. They're super, super wealthy. He drops tons of money into these Republican races. No doubt, it wasn't a shocker that he dropped 10 million right out of the gate. But this is their first thing, is that it's abortion and Trump. This is all abortion and this is all Trump. So
Election. Prop 50 puts our elections back on a level playing field, protects independent redistricting, and gives the power to the people of California. Stop.
We had something that protected independent redistricting. It was called the Independent Commission. We had that. We had the Independent Citizens Commission, where they would redistrict with citizens. That was our independent. That's protecting the right for independent redistricting. And this whole gives power back to the people. It doesn't give power back to the people. It actually takes power away from the people and gives it in the legislature.
Stop Trump, end Munger's game, and save democracy. Yes on 50.
Save democracy. So we have the buzzwords of abortion, Trump, and save democracy. I mean, those are like the three buzzwords of all Democrats across the country if they need to get people to show up to vote. Those three things: abortion, Trump, and save democracy. So that's one ad. That's one ad where they had to link abortion to it. Here's the next ad.
Following the dictator's playbook, Donald Trump has unleashed a blitzkrieg, arresting people without warrants, targeting the free press, attacking universities. Now he's coming directly for our democracy with a scheme to rig the next election. You have the power to stop him. Prop 50, the election rigging.
To rig the next election. Even though Texas is doing what the court has told them to do, which is redraw their lines because they had to, because a court order said that your previous districts that you came up with in 2021 after the census were an issue and violated the Voting Rights Act. No, this is about Trump, who somehow started this way back in 2021. Again, this is the Biden DOJ who started this, not Trump.
Rigging Response Act puts our elections back on a level playing field by putting power in the hands of the people.
Power in the hands of the people. Another thing that you're going to hear a lot of, this whole power in the back of the hands of the people. Again, you're not doing that. You're taking power from the people because the people voted for an independent commission. They wanted it out of the hands of politicians and legislatures, so that way it's not like you don't have these legislatures drawing these gerrymandered maps so that they can stay in their seat and benefit from this. So here we are. Okay, power to the people. It's not power to the people. They're taking away the right. They're taking away the power to the people. In fact, they're snatching power from the people.
Save democracy in all 50 states. Yes on 50.
Yes on 50. Power to the people. Power to the people. Save democracy. Trump. And abortion, right? Those are the things they're going to go with. Those are the buzzwords. Now, I don't fault them because this is what people who make these ads, they're paid to do. They know the buzzwords that get people out. That's why these ad companies make, tens of millions of dollars every single election, because they make these ads and they make a ton of money off of these ads. And their job is to get people kind of fired up, right? That's the point of these ads. Doesn't mean they're factual at all. Doesn't mean they're truthful or factual, but they will say the same thing over and over and over again. And here's someone who actually doesn't live in California. They're weighing in on this whole Prop 50.
California, you know we don't back down from a fight. And this November, the fight belongs to you. Donald Trump is redrawing.
We don't back down from a fight? Aren't you you're in New York? Why are you saying we don't back down from a fight?
Drawing election maps to force through a Congress that only answers to him, not the people. If he gets away with it, all bets are off for our health care, our paychecks, and our freedoms. With Prop 50, we can stop him. Prop 50 levels the playing field and gives power back to the people. Fight for democracy in all 50 states. Yes on 50.
There we go again. Power to the people. Trump. Save democracy. It's the same thing over and over again. I don't know why AOC is weighing in. She's from New York. She doesn't have a dog in this fight. Again, their whole premise is that we're going to return power to the people when it was already with the people to begin with. It was with the people to begin with. We voted to keep it with the people. You are actually voting against that whole principle. If you vote yes on Prop 50, You are actually voting to take power away from the people and give it to the legislature, right? You're giving it back to the legislature so that they can run it until 2030. Now, why until 2030? I don't know. Why not just for this election? Why not just be a runoff, right? Why not just be one runoff? Because you wanted to combat this gerrymandering. So now your thing is you don't trust the citizens to do the right thing. So let's take away that power and gerrymander the hell out of it, because there's only one way this goes down, right? If you don't believe the citizens did a correct job in redistricting after 2020, which is their job, the independent commission didn't do their job, you believe that they failed at their job and that the legislature now has to come in and basically redraw these maps for one reason only, which is to combat Trump. We're going to get to this next video, which at least it's honest. At least this next video is going to be honest. But you're basically doing this to disenfranchise California voters, take away their representatives. You're combining dark red counties with blue counties so that they lean blue. You are disenfranchising Californians here. You're not giving power to the people. You're not giving voice to the people. You're doing the exact opposite. You're letting politicians pick and choose winners and losers in this. You're not giving power to the people. You are taking away the voice of Californians. You are disenfranchising voters. Your whole thing is we are trying to protect and save democracy because Texas is disenfranchising and taking the voice away from people in Texas. So our response to that is we're going to disenfranchise and take away the votes in the voice of people here in California. That's basically what you're saying. So to combat disenfranchisement over in Texas, we're going to disenfranchise millions of people here in California for our own political gain. That's literally your whole argument. Now, this final one, I give them credit because at least they're being honest. At least they're being honest because they're saying what this is really all about. Because this isn't about power to the people. This isn't about saving democracy. This isn't about abortion. This is about one thing and one thing only. It's to get back at Trump. It's to stick it to Trump. So I give this next ad credit for at least being honest. Like, just be honest with this.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting something here. Breaking news out of California tonight. The results are in, and voters have just passed Prop 50.
What?
This is a major blow to Donald Trump and
This
his
is
chances
bad.
of holding on to power next year.
Stop the
That's right,
count.
Liz, because if he loses the House, Congress
did you
will
do
have the
this to
power to
Trump?
block Trump, investigate him for corruption, and even release the Epstein files.
You want to stick it to Trump? Vote yes on Prop 50.
I hate California.
So I'll give them credit. I will absolutely give them credit that at least they're being honest. At least that ad is being honest. Everybody who says they're voting yes on Prop 50 for all these BS reasons about saving democracy and abortion and power to the people, and that we have to protect democracy and we have to even the playing field and save democracy across the nation, which is another load of bull in my mind. You're not saving democracy across the country. There's 49 other states that you have no influence over. And at least you're being honest. I'd rather you be honest and say, I'm voting yes because I want to stick it to Trump. And that ad is a perfect encapsulation of what this is. Just be honest. Roll that ad all the time and say that you're just doing it because you want to stick it to Trump, because you don't understand the issue. That's why you're voting yes. It's because you want to stick it to Trump. You don't really understand what Prop 50 is about or why we're even in this position to begin with. So here we are. I just want to stick it. I hate Trump, so I want to stick it to Trump. So those are some of the yes on Prop 50 ads. I just wanted to do a little fact checking, especially with the vote coming up in less than a month on November 4th. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is all just really about sticking it to Trump, or do you think they're trying to save democracy or giving power back to the people? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.